guys, here's Frank from Dutch Distortion, sitting here with Mitch from Madball.
Sir.
Mitch, thank you very much for taking the time to talking with us.
Cheers.
Wonderful, and how's it going with you?
It's going good.
Yeah?
It's going good. It's our first show on this tour, and this is the 4th year of Rebellion tour.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing.
So what's coming up next? First in the Netherlands and after the Netherlands?
Tomorrow we go to Berlin,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go to Hamburg, and then to Essen, and then I don't remember. That's good for me too. I have first 4 days I remember.
Yeah.
Exactly the order, but I forget the whole tour. It's 10 shows.
10 shows.
Yep.
So it sounds like a small tour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We don't do long tours anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We'd rather do 4 or 5 Europe tours in a year that are like 10 days, 12 days, as opposed to doing 1 or 2 that are for a month or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I mean, it's like, it's a matter of it's not feasible anymore to be on the road that long, doing with other guys have other things going on and families and stuff like that. So we tour as much as any other band, but we just divide it up in a different way.
Smaller sections.
Exactly.
So I have to compliment you guys about the lineup you're having. For every tour you pick a magnificent lineup. How do you guys choose the bands to take along on tour?
Well, Rebellion was Freddie's idea,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Freddie's creation, and I know he gets a lot of help from Rob from Born from Pain.
Yeah.
Works with us, and him and Rob I think they brainstorm on some good ideas for stuff. So I could give a little credit to Rob. I think Rob's helping Freddie. But I mean, we know what's up with Comeback Kid and Terror.
Yeah.
But from the European side, I think Rob kind of helps with that. We know Comeback Kid is a power band. They're a big band. Terror is obviously a great American hardcore band, and so.
So have you seen a couple of the guys you're touring with now, or?
We've toured with the Setup before, but the other 2 bands we played shows with before, but I don't really know them yet. I'm looking forward to getting to see them, getting to know them.
So next to a tour with new bands, also hopefully new friends in the future.
Always.
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 Good to hear. Hey, Madball has a lot of history. Isn't it hard to decide on a set list for a new tour?
It is. It is. Because we try to play a little of everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's always the people that want to hear, the old stuff. But, there's a lot of kids now that the old stuff to them, we've got records that I consider new records that are 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we did the New York Hardcore EP. It was 2003. That's 10 years old now.
That's 10 years old. Yeah.
That to me is new Madball, because I've been in the band for 12 years now. I consider anything I've ever done to be new Madball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a 10-year-old record now.
Yeah.
So, but we try to mix it up. We try to get a little of everything in there, and we always want to play the hits, the songs that people know and love, and then we try to stick every now and again. We'll try to bring something back. Put a little something in there, and especially when you're working in new songs, we want to stay a current band.
Yeah.
We don't want to be one of those bands that lives off their past and says, this is our, 20 years ago we put this record out and this is all we play. We want to keep moving forward. That's why we make records. That's why we write new songs.
Yeah.
Is to stay a current band and remain, with the times.
Yeah. So what's going to be the surprise for tonight?
Surprise for tonight. I don't know if anything's going to surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real anything crazy, but we changed the set around. There's a couple of new little tricks and bells and whistles in there, but it's not. We're not doing any new songs yet. But just we change it up. The order's probably a little different than what you're used to. Keep it fresh.
Yeah, cool.
Keep it fresh. When people think that we played our last song, we didn't play our last song. We're coming back and doing another one. You never know.
That's what I want to hear.
There you go.
Hey, and talking about the new songs, last year you released a new EP, Rebellion. How was it received by fans and the critics?
I didn't read too many reviews on it, but I know that we played one of the songs in the set, and it was one of the fastest songs to ever. You know, whenever you play a new song, whenever you write new material and release a new record, I feel like it takes the crowd, it takes our followers and our supporters and whatever you want to call them to be, right? It takes people a little bit of time to understand the song, and so when you play it live, they get into it. Because, you know, when you play a new song, people are like, okay, but they don't know it. We did the EP, and we did one of the songs of that, and within 2 months of it being released, it was like a big song in the set. It comes off, and it's so that feels good. I kind of like when something catches on quick.
Yeah.
You know, there's songs we did off of Legacy or off of Infiltrate that we were doing them for 2 years before people got it, and before people understood it. You know, now they're big songs. Now they're like stuff that, you know, people, they get a good reaction. But sometimes it's a slow process.
I think it is not to help real.
Yeah, and we cut a video. We did a video for this song, "The Beast."
Yeah,
is the name of the song, and
cool video, by the way.
Great video. I mean, I think the guys that did it did an amazing job.
Yeah.
I can't believe how good it came out. I'm very happy.
Loved it. This is true Madball feelings.
Our friends from Devil and Me, Pedro Matos and Paulie, and some other their guys from Lisbon helped produce the video. They did a great job with it.
Magnificent. And a little bit more about the EP. There are also 2 re-recorded songs on it.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to re-record older songs?
Because you listen to the originals of those and listen to the production on those old Madball things. That was when there was no, the band almost wasn't even a serious band when those were done. It was almost a joke.
Yeah.
Or definitely a side project feel to them, and they're just, you know, like really whatever. So we always play that stuff in the set, and to me it sounds better than when it was recorded, because we play it better now. We understand how the song's supposed to sound. So it was cool for us to do those, so people have it on record of like, oh, that's the way they play the songs now. Like if you were to hear the Rolling Stones play Satisfaction in 2013, it's not going to sound the way it did in 1960,
Exactly.
68 or 70, what was it, 67, 66, 66, no, maybe 62, but the mid-60s. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they play it better than he did. I think it sounds better the old way with the Rolling Stones, but I know we play the older Madball stuff, we play it a lot better now than it was ever recorded. So the idea was, let's do a couple of old songs just to give them some new life.
Yeah, yeah. Is it going to be something you're going to do as well in the future, re-record old songs?
I don't know. I don't think we would do that on a full-length record. Mm-hmm. Maybe on an EP we would record, or maybe if somebody wanted us to do. I don't see us doing it twice, though. I kind of doubt it, but never say never.
So I'm talking about new records. When can we expect new Madball records, feature length?
We're shooting for this year. We're shooting for later this year. We've got some of it written. You know, we're in the process of writing, and it's you know, it's coming along. But we had kind of hoped to be. We're a little bit behind what we were originally planning. We were hoping to have something out by this tour even, but you know, life happens, and you know, things get delayed. Yeah. But it's coming. It's coming, and it's going to be Madball as always. It's going to be
Madball as always.
Yep.
Yeah. No, any surprises we can expect on the new CD?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, the songs we have now don't really have any vocals to them, and whenever we write a song, I can't wait to hear what Freddie's going to do on top of it. You know, we all write together, and Freddie listens, and I see him listening, and he'll make suggestions, and he'll say, "Oh, no, that part," and he'll help arrange with us and whatever, because he has a vision. You know, he'll hear it, and he'll start hearing what he's going to do. And to me, we're not going to hear that till later. You know, he'll go home and he'll write it, and sometimes we'll demo them, and we'll do it like that. But then there's other times where I don't hear it till he's in the studio recording it. And you know, you could have a song, this song you think is going to be the best song on the record, and then there's this song that you're like, that shit's, you know, it's good, whatever. And then I've heard stuff where he sang over it, and all of a sudden it was like, wow, that's amazing. And that's good. But what he did with that, so he's taken some songs and he's made them incredible. and where we thought it was just gonna be, oh, that's just another song, you know. So as for surprises, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we come up with. You know, some of the best things that, you know, happen in music don't happen when you plan them; they just happen.
Indeed. Is it hard for you guys to make a new album with long history of Madball?
What do you mean? Is it hard?
Is it hard to be original again?
I don't think it's hard to be original. I think it's hard to bring something new every time. I mean, you know, our sound is our sound, and we do what we do, and no one else really does what we do. You know, other bands play hardcore, and other bands, you know, are heavy, and there's heavier bands, there's faster bands, there's whatever. But I think Madball's originality is that we mix in other rhythms. You know, we've got like there's always that little bounce to Madball that other bands don't have. You know, we've got, you know, Freddie and Hoya grew up listening to so much hip hop and shit like that you can't help but have that influence in our music. And that's where I think we're an original band. That's the sound that sets us apart. So it's not so much a challenge to keep that sound. That comes to us naturally. The challenge is going outside the box. You know, well, should we try this? And you don't want to go too far, because then it's like, oh, those guys are crazy. You know, you heard that shit they got on their record? Like, it sounds desperate. Yeah. It has to be natural. Yeah. We always want to move forward, but we don't want to go crazy. We don't want to go like totally different, but we're going to always move forward a little bit. Try a little new something here, try a little new something there, but keep the same core foundation of what the band sounds like.
Great. And looking back at the history of Madball, Madball's been around for a long time now. You've been with the band for 12 years now. What would be your most memorable experience with Madball on stage?
On stage, well, I'll just say we just came back from Australia, and we did a Soundwave tour in Australia that was headlined by Metallica. It was Metallica and Linkin Park and Blink-182 and Perfect Circle, and it's just this massive tour. It was a cool experience, you know, just to be able to be out on something like that every day and playing alongside that many great bands and get the recognition. You know, you know, Madball is an old band, and they showed a lot of respect by putting us on a tour like that. That they obviously, you know, these are the biggest bands in the world. It was the biggest tour in the world at the moment. That was cool. I don't know what's an all-time one moment in the history of the band. I think that we take a lot of pride in having a consistent quality to our band every night. We go up there every night to give our best and give our all. And this, I'll tell you right now, this tour is the highlight of our year every year. For the last 4 years, this is the best tour we're going to do, because we get to pick which bands we're going to take out, and it's going to always be not only, you know, good bands, but it's a lot of times bands that we're good friends with, yeah. Terror, Comeback Kid. We have great times with those bands, and the shows, it's a special show. I mean, for Madball to headline the Melkweg in Amsterdam, this is a legendary club, and you look at it, it's packed down there. It's very full, and that's special. Yeah. You know.
And to be honest, it's always cool for me to see as well that the venue is packed. Yep. When in my opinion, a good band is coming over. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
So my compliments again.
Cheers.
Hey, and looking back in the hardcore scene, you've been in the hardcore scene for a long time as well. Do you think? No. Let's rephrase the question. How do you look at the hardcore scene nowadays in comparison with the early days?
It's the same. It's the same. It looks different from, you know, what angle you look at it as in life. You know, when you're 16, you look at it like this, and when you're in your 20s, you look at that. And I'm in my 40s now, 42, 41, actually 42 in a week. I think there's good young bands still coming up. It fluctuates. You know, in the 90s, hardcore was very big worldwide, even in the States. You know, there was there was a big movement going on, and that was when Madball, had its, early years, and bands like Sick of It All and Agnostic Front, even, AF goes back to the 80s, but they had a good run. I think it's very healthy right now. I think that, a show like this proves how healthy hardcore is. If hardcore was not doing well, we wouldn't be able to have a show like this. No matter how many good bands are there. If there's a million great bands, it still doesn't, if the kids aren't there, if there's not the audience, then it doesn't do well.
And looking at the future, what do you think the future holds for the hardcore scene in general?
I think it's going to keep going. I think it'll keep going. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon, man. How old is heavy metal? Heavy metal is since the late '70s or the mid '70s with Black Sabbath in the '60s. So heavy metal is only 40 years old, and I think hardcore in this form, I consider hardcore to have been around since the mid '80s. So it's 25, 30 years old, and I don't see any end to it. I think it'll keep going. I hope we've inspired bands. I was inspired by the bands that came before me, by Agnostic Front and by the Bad Brains and Murphy's Law, and those bands made me want to be a part of hardcore. And I hope that we've inspired young bands, and those young bands are now inspiring bands. Look at Terror. Terror, I caught myself more than a couple of years ago, saying, like, somebody's asking me, like, so who's the new band you like? And I was like, Terror. And I was like, wait a minute, Terror's been around 5 years already. And this is 5, whatever. Terror's been around 10 years now. 10 years. And to me, they seem like a new band.
Yeah.
So think of how many kids out there are inspired by Terror that want to start bands. And I go to shows on Long Island. I live on Long Island in New York, which is a little suburb of New York City. And I'll go to shows with friends of mine just to check out the band, see what's going on. Small hardcore shows in DIY venues, like catering halls, or somebody's got a warehouse somewhere and they'll do a show there. And man, these bands are good. They're young, they're hungry, they're out there keeping it going. Like they've got the spirit. You see, and they're all so respectful. Like when I show up at the show, they're like, "Oh, thanks for coming," whatever. Because they look at a band like Madball, and that's what maybe they grew up on listening to. But they're doing it great now, and they're doing it a lot of justice.
Yeah, it's good to hear. And looking to again the near future.
This band, I'm looking these guys up.
Incendiary
from Long Island. They made me. I have a weird T-shirt size. Like I'm tall, so I need tall sizes. Yeah. And I tell any band, I'll wear your shirt if you get me a tall size. They went and made me this shirt.
Wonderful.
So just shout out to Incendiary.
I'm going to look them up.
Yeah, they're great band, man. Great band.
I'm going to look them up. Hey, and looking at the near future again, in 5 years or something like that, who do you think will hold the flag for hardcore? The younger bands or the older bands?
I think it's always going to be. I think it's always going to be a mix. I mean, holding the flag means, doing stuff like this. We're all together. You know what I mean? It's you got Agnostic Front, and you've got Sick of It All, and you've got Madball, and you've got Terror, and and we're out here doing our thing. But we're like this tour. We're incorporating the younger bands onto the tour. So it's a combination. I have to give credit to Agnostic Front. They are the original New York hardcore band. So I hope that they're going another 5 years. I hope they go another 10, 20 years. So in 5 years, I see Vinny Stigma and Roger holding the flag, and then we're right behind them, and we're doing our thing, and then there's a whole generation of younger bands behind us keeping it going.
That's what we want to hear. Wonderful. Hey, that's it for my questions. Have you missed anything in this interview, or do you have anything to add for our viewers?
No, not so much. I mean, just if you haven't checked out Madball before and you took this interview, come see us on a show. Check out when we got Rebellion EP is out from last year, but we've got a new Madball coming in 2013, new Madball full length, and check that out. And that's it.
Well, thanks very much.
All right, buddy.
Thanks.
Give you a pound.
Very good. Thank you.